Why, what is going up, everybody? Welcome back to the spin-off, another episode, of course. Thank you for joining me, everybody. Today, my guest is an up-and-coming stand-up comedian, great friends with my last guest, Griffin Thomas. I want to welcome Mr. JoJo Casillas.
What's going on, everybody? Hey, man, thanks for having me on, bro. I really appreciate it, man.
Oh, absolutely, JoJo. You came highly recommended by my last guest, Griffin Thomas, who we all know is doing very well right now. Me and Griffin talked about that. Everybody check out that episode if you ain't already. But how did you and Griffin become friends and ultimately comrades in this crazy world of stand-up comedy?
Well, first, before I answer the question, I just want to say shout out to Griffin, because Griffin has, like you said, not been doing it a long time. And Griffin has done a lot in the short time that he's done it. So like for us comedians, when we see somebody really grinding and really putting in the work, like we respect them and we love them with open arms. So like I want to shout out Griffin for real, because like he's doing his thing, man. He's doing real big things. He's about to be opening for Ron White.
Great.
You know what I'm saying? So like shout out to that dude. He's fucking awesome.
Yeah, but 6 shows in Naples he landed with Ron. Amazing.
Yeah, man. That's crazy. He got to chill with him on his bus and everything.
I know, that's crazy.
It was awesome, dude. But Griffin, I met Griffin. He's seen me before and I didn't know, but I met him at the Laughing Comedy Cafe in Fort Myers. That's where I do a lot of my work at.
Yep.
He comes to me and he was like, "Hey man, I saw you before. I really, really like you. I'm thinking about doing stand-up and shit." So I was like, "Yeah, man, do it, man. If you do it, take it serious, whatever. I gave him a little bit of game. And then it was like, dude, like 2 weeks later, he was like doing guest spots places and stuff. So I was like, all right, let me go see him. And then I see him and I'm like, damn, this dude's fucking funny, man. This is crazy, you know? And from that point on, like, after that was just, we were just boys. Like we just, every time he comes to Laughing, we always kick. He's always a good hang. And yeah, ever since he came to the scene, we just welcome him with open arms because, you know, he's putting in work and we respect it out here. So, but yeah, I met him at the comedy club at Laughing. I met him there.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Me and Griffin discussed that, how much he grinds, you know, he's constantly, just profiling. He's out there networking. I mean, it's ridiculous. And, you know, you are doing the same thing. You are a busy ass guy as well. Dude, I was looking at just a few of your Facebook posts. You did 3 shows in 3 different cities in 3 nights.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It was like April 12th, 13th, and 14th. 3, what was it? Let me see. It was, you had one in Port Charlotte, Fort Lauderdale, Bonita Springs. That's nuts, dude. Anybody that doesn't know the comedians work their asses off, check out their schedule.
For sure. I was
what's it like grinding?
Last night. I was in Palm Harbor last night.
Man.
So
what is it like grinding?
I got a show tonight in Fort Myers, opening for Ken Miller, who's a fucking phenomenal comic. If you don't know who Ken Miller is, you need to know. He's the godfather of Orlando comedy. He was Preacher Lawson's mentor. This dude is amazing.
Preacher's good dude. Preacher's funny as hell, man.
Preacher's the man. He represents us well.
Yes, he does. He loves you guys, man. He's always willing to bring up and coming comics on with him. So, man, hey, maybe hit him up there, JoJo.
I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see.
So, hey, I saw you're actually from Allentown, PA, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on, it's iconic. You got songs written about Allentown. I mean, so what was it like in Pennsylvania, especially winter?
Well, I'll be honest. I love Pennsylvania. I still love Pennsylvania to this day. My mom still lives in Allentown. But actually, I was only in Allentown till I was about like 7 or 8 years old.
All right.
And I think about 8 or 9 is when we officially moved, because we were kind of going back and forth to Florida and PA. And then my mom finally was like, we're staying in Florida. So, excuse me, I've been in Florida since about 9. So really, I'm from Florida. I always tell people I'm from Florida, but yeah, man, I love Pennsylvania. I love the cold, that snow. Like when people get crazy, I'm just like, man, let's hang out outside. And they're like, you're retarded. And I'm like, it is what it is. But I do. I love Allentown, man. I still got family out there. I go there once a year to go spend time with my mom and stuff. So, but yeah, I love Allentown, man.
Well, we talked about you grinding, and you know, I've had Conan on the show here.
Oh, shout out to Conan,
Dude,
that goddamn bodybuilder.
that fucking guy is absolutely hilarious, and it's
He's
like
the same.
I
He's the
discussed it with
same.
Griffin. That accent just kills.
He is the same. He's been doing it not that long. He goes to a show. Russell Peters is messing with him. He's like, well, then fucking do time. And he thinks he's going to bomb. Here comes Conan and just fucking murders for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he goes and gets weekends with him. I was like, yo, this is crazy. But Conan is a very, very good dude. He's very funny, and he's one of them dudes. He also understands like the grind. He understands that you got to actually put in work. He's not like, even though he's done really well for his short time, very humble dude. Very humble dude. Very humble. Like, he doesn't come gloating that he's Russell Peters opener. He doesn't do any of that. He just comes, he works, he grinds. He gets advice. He asks for advice. Like, that's a very good dude, man. So shout out to Conan as well, man.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know he opened for Russell Peters unless you looked it up, because he doesn't talk about that.
No, he just promoted the shows as if they were regular shows. It wasn't nothing, you know. It's comedy, man. That happens. Like, I'll tell you,
you're being humble as well, because you opened up for some pretty big names, man.
Yeah. I did, but it's just because, I don't know, like I've done pretty well for my time, and people always tell me all the time, like, oh man, you've done this, you've done that. Cause I've opened up for Ali Sadiq, I've opened up for Damon Wayans, I've opened up for Tommy Davidson, Brian Callen, just to name
Ron White.
Ron White. Recently, I just did Ron White show. You know what I'm saying? I did Pauly Shore.
Yeah, you were you were also the featured act for John Charles Ragland.
Yeah, man, open for John Charles. John is my man. John is actually the first headliner to take me on the road with him.
John's awesome.
John is the man, dude. I love that guy. But I don't know. I mean, like, even though I've done all these good things, like, I don't know, it doesn't, because I'm still like, I'm not the main act, and I know that like I want to be what these guys are. So like, it's just like, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for my opportunities, and I always do the best that I can do. But yeah, man, I just remain humble, because I mean, you never know where you can go, you know, and I don't want to be that dude who thinks he's the shit, and then all of a sudden next year I'm nobody, you know. I don't want to really focus on the goal, and the goal is to be the ticket seller, you know. So that's really it. I just remain, and then plus, dude, nobody likes a cocky dude. Nobody wants to hang around with somebody who thinks they're the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, and these comics do too. These big comics, they don't want to hang out with somebody who's like, I'm about to go up there and kill it. Watch what I do. Watch my set. They don't want that. They just want to chill. They're regular dudes, the same way we're regular dudes, you know? And I learned that very quick. Because I will say Ali Sadiq was the first headliner, big comic that I got to open up for, who made me realize I was a good comic. And I was like blown away by this shit. Like, because I would never think somebody like him, you know what I'm saying, would be like, yo, man, you're funny. You don't need to be taking pictures. You're a part of the show. If they don't take pictures of you, tell them to get somebody else to do it. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is Ali telling me that. And then I told him, I was like, hey, because I was doing, I think I did Thursday, Friday shows with him. And Saturday, they always have this radio DJ who does the first show. And because he gets the acts on the radio and shit like that. So they let him do like 5 minutes or whatever. So I tell him, I'm like, hey, man, I can't do the show tomorrow. They got the radio DJ. Can I take a picture with you? You know what I'm saying? Because like my family they're big fans of you and this and that. And he was like, what are you talking about? You're not here tomorrow. And I was like, yeah, they got the radio DJ and I can't come tomorrow. And he was like, well, what about the second show? And I'm just like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like, he's like asking me to do the show. And I'm like, well, if you want, like, I'll come back. I'll do the time for you or whatever. And he was like, hell yeah, man, you need to come back. So then the owner walks by as we're talking, going through this. So then he was like, I was like, hey, man, is there time on the second show? Can I do some time? Ali wants me to come. And he was like, if Ali says that you can come, you do whatever the fuck you want. And Ali was like, yeah, bro, come tomorrow. And I want you to do 10 minutes. And I want you on my show. Like, we're closing out the weekend. And I was like very fanboyish at that moment. I was like, what the fuck is happening? So I was very cool. I was like, hey, thank you, Mr. Ali. Like, you're a good man. And I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for the opportunity. Immediately ran to the bar to the waitresses and was like, yo, you would not fucking believe what just happened. Okay? And even the one girl's like, I can't. I'm so happy this happened to you because I'm always gonna shit on you when you become big because I'm always gonna tell people how you were such a fan of Ali and how you were basically blowing him when you found out he wanted you to do more time that weekend. And I was like, oh man, you're so funny.
Dude, yeah, so what bit you when you got into comedy? What bit you and said that? And I asked this of each comic that I've had on. What made you say this is it? This is what I want to do. What was the major comedic?
All right, the major part so my anniversary is October 18th, 2017.
Damn.
That is because when I started doing stand-up, like I never really took it serious because I didn't think that I could be good. So it was just something I did like as a hobby or whatever.
Yeah.
So basically it's a kind of long story. I'm gonna try to speed it up. But
oh no, you're good.
First time I did stand-up, it was for something for my cousin. He was doing an open mic, but it was only musicians. And so he's like, if you do time, I'll buy your drinks and feed you for the night. We just need you for like intermission. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll go eat for free, drink for free, and talk for 5 minutes. What's the worst that can happen?
Yeah.
So I do pretty good. They were like, we like you, come back the next month. I go back the next month and I bomb horribly. And I was like, nah, this is not it for me. This is stupid. Why am I doing this? So then I kind of stopped for a while. And then my wife hit me up and was like, hey, Off the Hook is doing a comedy competition thing. You should try it because it's actual comics. And if you're not funny, then you'll definitely know. So I'm like, all right, that's true. So I did it. So I do the show. And like I said, I was a young comic. I didn't know nothing. So I just did my time and I just left. Like I literally got off stage. I said goodbye to the people that came and saw me and I bounced. Then about an hour later, somebody had called me and was like, dude, why'd you leave? I was like, I had to go. Like, I didn't know you had to stay. He's like, dude, you won. They were looking for you. And I was like, oh shit, that's crazy. He's like, don't leave. Like, don't do that. If you're in a thing, bro, stay until the end. So I'm like, all right. And then he's like, yo, come to this open mic. And it was at the Laugh. And he's like, they do the same thing. Do it again. So I do it, but I got second place on that one. And then like a week later, when I won that one, and then I get the second place a week later. And this is when I met Nori. Nori is he's a rapper and he does a podcast, Drink Champs. And it's like the best podcast to me. I love it. Yeah. I'm a big fan of him. So I meet this dude and I was like, man, if I take comedy serious, I could probably be on his podcast one day. Because if I met somebody who I look up to and I really, really like, within like a couple weeks of me doing stand-up, I could really do this shit. So I started taking it serious from that point on. It was that day when I met him. I got the picture and everything. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it for real. And then I started doing it for real, started building my time. I've won a few competitions. And yeah, and then recently I've fully quit my job because I was doing like carpentry and shit still too.
Oh man!
And now I'm just strictly comedy on the road doing comedy, and that's it. That's all it is, comedy. So taking it way more serious now, and that big part of it was from like Ali Sadiq, Brian Callen, because Brian Callen came up to me and hugged me after my set.
Brian Callen's like, an amazing talent.
He is awesome. He is awesome. Yeah. He comes to me, gives me a hug, and was like, dude, that was amazing. How long have you been doing it? I'm like, about 3 years. He's like, dude, keep doing it. I'm going to see you down the road. And I'm like, man, what the fuck is happening? And then the same thing with him. I only got to do, I think, a Friday show with him. And then he was like, dude, come back tomorrow. I want you to do a guest spot. I'll give you 10 minutes. And I was like, you don't have to say any more. I'm coming. And then I got to hang out with Brian Callen, man. He was he was a humble dude. That dude is very, very like cool. Very cool.
I've been a fan of that man for quite a few years, and not from movies or anything. It was his stand up first is how I became a fan of his. But then you see him in like The Hangover, the different characters he's done throughout that trilogy. What he did on Schooled and Goldbergs. I mean, the guy is just fucking hilarious.
He is awesome.
And dude, you're being so humble again. I saw that you're recently up for a fucking award, dude. What is it? Ford Entertainment Award. You're a fucking nominee for this year. What is that?
The Ford Awards is some little like Southwest Florida thing. So there's a lady, her name is Rochelle Ford. She has a magazine called Ford Magazine. And basically what she does is just get a bunch of local talent people on the magazine. I've never been on the magazine or anything, but she really does a lot of shit behind the music scene out here. Like the music and club scene, like, yeah, she's very, very out there with that. And she promotes the hell out of music and stuff like that.
Oh,
But
Florida's got to be jumping.
Show. Yeah, she has an award show every year that she does for them. But she also throws in, you know, like comedians or like painters and like, you know, social media comics. So she kind of just shows love for everybody like in Southwest Florida. But you got to be voted on, to be honest. And I ain't gonna lie to you, like I woke up this morning and found out that I was nominated. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening? Like I didn't, because you got to be voted on. It's not like she just says, these are the people I'm picking. Like she said, who do you think should be in this category? And then people vote. And then now you become a part of the category and then they vote to see who wins.
Yeah, it's not like you're sending your own name in as a recommendation.
Yeah. So, but it was cool. It was I shouted out though, man. So I'm happy for that. I mean, I probably won't win, but
hey, you walked out on one already that you thought you'd lose.
Well, we'll see what happens.
I'm telling you, JoJo. Dude, you've got some things coming up, man. Like I said, you grind your ass off doing what you do. What has been, especially with you guys, I notice a lot now. Comedians do a lot of spots on podcasts now, and a lot of them do their own podcasts. And a lot of it, unfortunately, is due to COVID and the entire pandemic. So, have you found it to be maybe a little bit easier for a broader spectrum of exposure with doing podcasts now?
Yeah, because more people are still inside and some people are still scared and they don't want a chance being out and seeing live comedy. So if they can just watch their favorite comic on YouTube or something, that's way easier.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, and then these comics, they also get other big name comics. So it's not like it's just them or something, you know? So you're getting all these big comics to come do your podcast and then they go do their podcast. And it's just, you know, of course. But I will say it is starting to get better. I will say, though, that Florida never cared about COVID ever.
That's what Griffin said.
We're ready to die out here. That's what it is in Florida. Like, we are ready to die. Like, when COVID happened, everybody was like, dude, God got me. And that's it. That's it, you know? So, but it's good to see more places are opening up. I'm glad to see, like, New York finally opened back up, man.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. You know what's funny about New York, too, man? I was in New York the week that fucking COVID was going crazy. And I do a little talent show, and it's to like get on shows. So I do the show, and the manager's like, dude, we like you. We're going to put you on a real show. You'll do a guest spot. We're going to bring you, and it's Caroline. This is a legendary club, okay? So I'm like in New York riding this high, like, oh my God, my dream might come true. And then fucking Thursday, they were like, nah, we're just going to shut the world down to see what happens. Yeah. And then I flew out the next day, came home, and everything was shut down. Everything. And I was just like, well, there goes my career.
Not quite, man. Not quite. You stayed the course. You did the right thing. You did exactly what you needed to do. You networked your ass off. You stayed in contact with the right people. And look at you. Like I said, you are fucking busy as hell, man. So what do you got going on for the rest of 2021 for Mr. JoJo Casillas?
Man, there's so much. I'm still getting booked constantly, man. So every other day, I don't mean to say that like, you know, sound cocky. It's just like every other day is somebody hitting me up being like, yo, come do this, or can you do that? So it's good. And now that I'm more open, that's what's getting me the spots is I don't have to turn it down. Because I can go drive 3 hours away and then drive 3 hours back home and I have to worry about getting up and going to work. I got paid to do comedy. All I got to worry about is getting home safely. So, and then I'm just grinding so that way I can get out of state and start traveling more and start hitting other cities and stuff like that. Who's ready for comedy because world's opening back up, baby, and we're here to stay. You know, comedy ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I'm telling you what you said about Florida not giving a shit about COVID. I'm starting to notice like the comedians that I'm booking on the show, you, Griffin, Conan, I'm starting to notice this is almost like this semi-formed, tight-knit circle that I have somehow stumbled across. And all of you guys are absolutely fucking killing it out there. And you get the what I love about you guys though is you guys all help each other. You're constantly sharing each other's shit. You're constantly doing shows together. If not all three of you together, at least one or the other is together. And you guys help out so much. You guys are literally like a fucking family. And it's so great to watch.
It's like I can only speak for Fort Myers where I'm from, but Fort Myers comedy scene is honestly the most welcoming scene as long as you're doing your shit. If you're grinding, we gonna show you love. If you put in real work, we're gonna show you love. But if you're out here doing comedy just to like do it for your friends or you're not taking it serious, you're just bombing, but you're still coming week after week with the same shit. You don't realize that your jokes suck and you need to step up. It's true, man. And that's what gets annoying. And then egos too, because I know comics who have opened up for whatever people and they ride that shit like it's the greatest thing ever. And it's like, dude, yeah, one weekend. Okay. Like same thing with me. Like I've had one weekend with Brian Callen. I've never done a show with him again. So even though that's a great like thing for me to have, like he's still not hitting me up to come open for him. So I'm still this comic who's grinding to get that name. You know what I mean? Yep. And until I get there, I'm just going to remain humble. And even if I get there, I'm still going to be humble because this is a hard fucking game, man. It's hard.
Yeah. It's hard. Comedians are everywhere, man. I mean, I played drums and I used to say that, hey, drummers are a dime a dozen. Throw a penny, you'll hit one of us. And my God, comedians are everywhere, especially the Florida area. The state of Florida seems like the mecca for stand-up comedy right now.
It is. Nobody gives a fuck about dying. So all the time they're like, yo, we're going to Florida where they don't care. They don't have to take pictures with people because they can do the whole like, you know, COVID. So they're like, if I can go perform in front of 200 people and not have to shake hands and take pictures, why wouldn't you take that money? You know? Why wouldn't you do that?
No, you got to. You got to take the payday.
There's comics who I've seen in Florida that I'm like, what the? I've seen Eddie Griffin come to
my God.
Florida. And I was like, Eddie Griffin is in Naples? Wow. That is so crazy to me. Eddie Griffin, that's who you got coming? Like, man, that is crazy that he's even like, yeah, well, I'll go down there and do some time. I'll do a club. Even though I sell out arenas, yeah, I'll go do a 200 club, like whatever.
Eddie it's and like, that roll of fucking chops he's got, man. I'll tell you, that dude's got some of the best whites in the biz.
That dude's hilarious, man.
Oh, Eddie, I've watched Eddie Griffin as well for years, man. Foolish, by far one of my favorite movies. Holy hell, him and Master P, great movie. If you guys ain't seen it, please go watch it. You'd laugh your ass off. But,
that's right.
All right, so as you've been doing stand-up, you said since about 2017, you said. So what has been the brightest moment so far where you still kind of want to bring that little one up, you know, just like, oh shit, I'm never gonna forget that, like Christmas morning. But then on the other end, what is the one you're just like, fuck, why can't this end?
Okay, this is a beautiful question. I love this question. I'm gonna do the end one first, where I was like, man, fuck comedy. Dude, I remember I did a show, right? And so the host was he was not doing well He was not. It was just the worst way to start a show. And I had to go first.
Oh,
so
shit.
now I'm already like, fuck, I got to follow that. And now I got to try to bring up the crowd. And it's a 4:00 show. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to do it. So I do the show. Now I start off weak or whatever. And then I start building up and I'm doing okay. I'm not going to say I killed it. I did okay. I did well enough that they were going to be ready for comedy. Like they were like, oh, okay, maybe there are funny people. That's about as far as I got. So I'm already like, kind of like, man, you know, I didn't do that great, but at least I got them at the end. Now they're ready for comedy. So it was basically like I had to host the show.
Oh, shit.
So then Sheena Reagan, who's a comic from out here. If you don't know Sheena Reagan, you need to know Sheena Reagan. She is the funniest. She won funniest female comic in like 2018 or something.
Oh, shit.
And to me, in my opinion, so far my comedy career, she is the funniest chick that I've ever seen. There's like only 2 chicks that I'm like, yo, they're funny. Sheena's number 1. Okay. And I'm not even saying that because we're cool. Like Sheena, I watched Sheena murder a 4:00 room. And when I tell you I was watching that set thinking to myself, I don't think I should be doing comedy. That's what I was thinking because, dude, she is just fucking boom, 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 laugh, boom, 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 laugh, boom, 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 fucking eruption, boom, 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 laugh, boom, 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 laugh, boom, eruption, boom, laugh, applaud break, boom, laugh, applaud break. And I'm just like, God, I can't. What am I doing? What am I doing? And I remember another comic, he was on that show, Nathan Wallace, and we're driving, and Nathan Wallace was like, hey, man, don't feel bad. You had a good set, okay? It just wasn't Sheena. And I was like, bam, right to the heart, baby. You got there right. I had to watch that. Shit hurt my soul, man. But she's good though. So like you expect that, you know. But I'm talking about when I tell you I was just watching her just fucking murder. It was like, I gotta get better, man. I suck at comedy, man. It's so crazy. But another my biggest so so I've opened up for some big people, you know, and like most people would be like, dude, Damon Wayans, like that's got to be the biggest highlight of your career. Brian Callen, Ali Sadiq, whatever, Tommy Davidson. And honestly, my biggest highlight in my comedy career was there's a comic. His name is Chris Machado. Chris Machado is probably this is the most talented comic I've ever witnessed in my life. And to know him personally is like a legit blessing. Like I know he's going to be successful one day. Like he is that talented. You understand? Like he is so good at comedy. It's retarded. When I started doing comedy, Chris was the man here. He was the guy. Like nobody was better than him. Everybody knew like if you can't even follow Chris, then you're not you suck. That's what it was. Nobody could follow this dude. So we'd do all these open mics and he would give me props. And I would always be like, wow, that's what's up, man. Chris is giving me props. This is crazy. So we do an open mic competition and it's me and Chris and somebody, well, it's a bunch of us, but me and Chris are the finalists. And it's 3 of us up there. I forgot who 3rd place was that day. But I know it's me and Chris. And I get on stage and I'm telling myself, oh, okay, so I want 2nd. But at least I want 2nd to Chris. You know, that's cool. And then he was like, all right, 2nd place, Chris Machado. And I was like, whoa, what'd you say? And he was like, so give it up for our winner, JoJo Casillas.
Holy shit.
And I fucking lost it. I was like, what? I just beat Chris Machado in a fucking open mic competition.
You just won prom queen.
This is crazy. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I took a bunch of pictures that night. I was a fucking email after I won, dude. I was all over Instagram, like, look at my trophy, look what I did, look what I did. Because I never thought I can beat him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I seen Chris in the room, we're in a competition, my mind will say, man, I'm funny. But it looks like Chris is gonna win this. You know what I'm saying? That's how good he is, man. He is so talented. He has A-list comics talk to him and tell him like, dude, you need to be headlining. Why are you still opening up for people? You need to be the show. You understand? Like these are A-list comics. He'll go hang out with A-list comics at strip clubs and shit like that, or at bars and stuff like that. And they're like, we want you to hang out with us. It's not like he's like, can I come hang with y'all? They're like, yo, Chris, come hang with us, bro. That's how good he is.
Holy shit. And you took it down. You took it down.
It was only once. I never did it again, but I ride that shit. I still got the trophy and everything. I hated it. And till this day, I told them that. I tell all my comedic friends, they're like, what's the biggest thing? I'm like, dude, beating Chris is the best, because I never thought. So, but shout out to Chris Machado, man. That dude, I'm telling you, that man has had me in tears at an open mic. Not even a real show. He's making other comedians cry laughing. Bro, that's talent right there. That's talent.
That's extreme talent. Because when you're around a bunch of comics and you do comedy, like the storytelling kind, where it's shit that happens to you guys, and you can get other comics that do the same type to laugh so hard that they cry, you're absolutely on to fucking something.
It's crazy. The thing that I love and enjoy most about comedy is having friends who are totally different than you.
Yes.
And so you get to just enjoy their comedy, because it's like, I don't have to worry about him talking about being Puerto Rican, because he's not Puerto Rican. So it's like, he can do his jokes. I'm like, man, that's awesome. And, it's like with a bunch of other comics, like all of us, we all have a very different style from each other. Nobody in our area is like, you can't compare us. Like, you can't be like, oh, JoJo's kind of like Chris. No, I'm nothing like Chris. You can't be like, JoJo's like Nathan Wallace. I'm nothing like Nathan Wallace. I'm nothing like Sheena Reagan. I'm nothing like Griffin. I'm nothing like Conan. I'm nothing like any of these guys. And they're nothing like me.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful to watch all this different style of comedy, and that they're all good people too. Like, the best thing about it is when you're doing shit and you can have a joke that's working, and then one of your comic friends will come to you and be like, hey man, if you said this, it'll make it pop. And then you're like, okay. And then you fucking do it and it works. And then you're like, this is a good guy. Because then most of us too, like, if we give you shit, that's your shit. That's it. Like, I don't care. Like, if I've given you a tagline, that is your tagline. I'm here to help your joke out. I'm not here to take anything you got. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we work well together, because we try to help each other. And then once you do it, that's it. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. There was a dude, his name's Kyle Raymond. He's another comic. He's from Massachusetts. He actually, I have this LL Cool J joke that I do. And everybody says like, it's probably the best joke that I have. And so for a while, I was like, this is the best joke that I have. But the ending was always just a little bit off. It was like, laugh, big laugh. But the end was just like, haha,
Kind of like that mumble.
Yeah, like they laughed, but it wasn't like how the beginning and the middle, almost the end, like it was kind of, I lost them just at the end. Like they would always come up to me, oh, that LL Cool J shit is so funny, blah, blah, blah. And one day I'm doing my set and it's a great set. I get off stage and my boy Kyle was just like, yo, if you said this at the end of this, that's probably what'll make them laugh. So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to try it, because I'm like, all right, he probably might be right. And that night, because I did 2 shows. So the 7 o'clock show, I did well. 9 o'clock show, fucking destroyed. And when I did this LL Cool J bit and I did his tag that he told me to do, that was the most reaction I've ever got from that joke ever. And I immediately went off stage and gave him a hug and was like, bro, you just perfected my joke, bro. I've been trying a year to figure this out. And that one stupid line you gave me makes this whole joke now, bro. Thank you. And that was it.
Isn't that crazy?
Nobody knew he gave me that line. He never bragged to people being like, yo, I gave him that line. His line's working because of me. There's nothing like that. He gave me the line, told me you're welcome. And that was the end of it, and that's how we are.
That's crazy. You hear that all the time, especially with big name comics. All they had to do is change even one word in a joke. And it didn't even have to be the punchline. Just changing one word can make the entire joke. And it seems like that's something that you got help with. And now you figured that out. And now it's just, fuck it. The gloves are off. Let's fucking do this.
Exactly.
So with like you said, with the New York starting to open back up, Florida never fucking closed down. They didn't give a shit. Clubs around the country are in states are starting to open back up. How far across the country are you looking to go in 2021, JoJo?
All over.
Hell yeah, man.
All over. I want to touch every place, any place I could touch. I performed in Pennsylvania before, and where else did I perform before? Somewhere else. I forgot. Oh, in Tennessee. Tennessee and Pennsylvania I performed in before.
So do you plan on maybe making your way just strictly going across, hitting state after state, or are you going to jump around, going maybe from Florida to Arizona, and then maybe, God, I hate to say this, Iowa, but
yeah, I mean,
are you looking to go in a line?
I'm in with an agency, Comedy Zone. They got a bunch of rooms on the East Coast. So I'm trying to get in good with them. I mean, they've given me a few shows, but I'm not constantly booked by them. I'm fighting with all the other 1,000 comics who want fucking time from them.
Yeah.
So, and of course, they're giving it to like bigger and better people because, when you got somebody who's been doing 20 years versus 3 or a 4-year-old, I mean, you're probably going to go with the 20 years before the 4-year-old, So I don't blame them, but I'm just trying to get in deeper with them. But every club that I've ever done from them, I've always gotten good reviews. I've had headliners write them about me. So it's just a matter of going, showing up, doing your shit. They like you, they start booking you. That's it. You just got to bring your A game when you're doing it. So yeah, I'm just trying to get the East Coast, and then hopefully when I do that, and I can start traveling Midwest, and then start going even further west, because I do a lot of stuff in the South anyway. So just trying to get out there, man. Touch any stage I can. Just get there. That's it. That's the goal.
We'll have to get you here to Nebraska, man. There's I told Griffin this. There's a Funny Bone Comedy Club in Omaha, Nebraska. It's like a 25-minute drive from my hometown here. So, man, that get you out here to Nebraska. Get Griffin with you. Man, I'll come out there, see you guys while you're performing. It's great. Funny Bone's had some major names come through, man. So
yeah, Funny Bone gets a lot of good people, man. I'll come to Nebraska, goddamn Cornhusker State. You goddamn right.
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I'll tell you what, man, Nebraska people, if there's one thing they represent, it's that goddamn football team. I knew a dude from Nebraska, and I swear to God, there was nothing you could say about Nebraska. There's nothing. He would just immediately, nah, bro, fuck you, Nebraska's lit. And I'm like, but you're in Florida now. No, because there wasn't work out there, but fuck that, Nebraska's lit. And I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah. It's all we got, man. We don't have any pro teams, nothing. It's what we got. So
yeah, they say like it's all we got. So we ride that shit. I'm like, well, see, that's good because you got the real true fans. Because I'll tell you what, them football games, I would love to go to a football game in Nebraska because I know the energy would be retarded.
There's a reason they call it the Sea of Red. It's an unreal sight, man. It's holy shit, it doesn't get loud. As long as things are going our way, man, does it get loud.
Fucking stadium shaking and everything.
Absolutely. We're going to have to get you into a game, man.
Yeah, I would do it. I love college football. College football, NFL, I love football. That's my shit. And NBA.
I'll tell you what, JoJo, we start getting you booked in Nebraska. We'll see if we can coordinate during football season. We'll get you into Nebraska on a game day weekend when they're in Lincoln. And, man, I'll tell you what, I'll buy the tickets. Me and you'll go.
Hey, you didn't even have to do that much. I got my own ticket, but I ain't going to say no to it. But no, hell yeah, dude. If you invite me, I don't even got to go do comedy. If you just invite me to the game, I'll go to the fucking game, dude. Just to be a part of that, man, I'm telling you, Nebraska, they get turned up over there at them games, man. I would hate to see somebody wear a different jersey that's not red over there.
I'll tell you what, man, that's where we differ from other fans. People will tell you we're the most welcoming fans around in the nation. You're wearing the other team's colors or jersey, come up and have a beer with us at the tailgate. We don't care. Have some food.
Damn, that's what's up.
Dude, it's Midwestern hospitality, man. You heard Southern hospitality. We try it a little bit better.
I don't know, man, because I've been in the Midwest and there's assholes out there, man. I'm telling you.
There are, man. They exist everywhere. They exist everywhere. It's horrible.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that. I ain't gonna argue with that one. You're right about that
one. So with like we talked about just now, you want to start working around outside of Florida, get your obviously your name out there, which Jesus Christ, it is already. Because it's like I said to Griffin, with the short amount of time he's been doing it, and the same thing with you, your name isn't out there on just your own posts. Other people are posting your fucking name out there as well, man. So you've got to realize that you are getting the exposure. And like you said, the names you've opened up for, Brian Callen, Ron White, I mean, these are not just podunk names. So JoJo, I'm just telling you right now, man, I'm giving you your kudos right here on the fucking spinoff, dude.
That's what's up, man.
You're on the right track.
I appreciate that. I hear that a lot, and that's honestly what keeps me going. When people tell me like, "Yo, you belong here, keep doing it," I'm like, "Okay, I belong here. I need to keep fucking doing it." Because comedy, I'll tell you, that shit could make you depressed. Boy, I'm telling you, because you could be riding a high, and you're like, "Man, I'm doing so good," and then your next show is the worst show that's ever happened. So you're like, sometimes, like, I ain't gonna lie to you, I did a show right after I opened up for like Tommy Davidson. And I was like, to open up for Tommy Davidson, like I watched him as a kid. My mom's a big fan of Tommy Davidson. This was big for me. And I do this show, and Tommy even showed me love. He would like my shit. He was the same way, like, man, I wish you could be here the weekend because I like you. I want to see you keep performing, whatever. But I already had shows. That's why I couldn't do it. And fucking damn it, where's I going with this one? So the next week I do a show. And it was a pretty packed show. It was like 60, 80 people. So I'm like, here I go. I'm the shit. I just opened up for Tommy Davidson. I'm about to fucking crush. And it was the worst show I ever did in my whole entire life, man. It was like 15 minutes of just pure silence.
Oh, shit.
And I'm doing the best jokes I have. Like once I start, my opener is a good joke. It always gets them going. Nothing. I'm like, okay, let me start with the beginning set. Nothing. So I'm like, nah, fuck this. I got to hit them hard. I started doing my closing set. Nothing.
Oh my God.
And I get off stage like, man, I just fucking opened up for Tommy Davidson. He gives me props. And here I am just eating the fattest dick of my life right now. This is crazy, bro. Comedy will do that shit to you. That's another reason I stay humble.
Well, what did they do? Trick you? Did they trick you into opening up for a fucking room full of school for the deaf or something?
Nah, man, sometimes the crowd is just not into it.
Man, that's fucked.
It's weird. It's really weird. Like I'm telling you, you can be doing so good, and then out of nowhere, you're doing the same shit that works. And they're just like, nah, bring the next guy. And you're like, wow. Like, I just opened for this dude. Like, they gave me props. You guys aren't laughing, y'all can kiss my ass. That's how it be sometimes. So, it really does.
With you being still pretty young into comedy, but opening for some of the names that you have, maybe without mentioning a name, is there somebody that you have worked with where you're just like, I am not fucking working with this person again? There's just no way.
Absolutely.
And like I said, no need to drop a name, but how fucking bad was it?
The worst. I was supposed to do the weekend show with him. So I got there Thursday, and then I met him, and I told the dude, I was like, yeah, I can't do the weekend anymore. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, shit.
Because this guy, so he had a TV show back in the day, but he was like not the main character. He was just in the show, and he was a kid in the show, okay? A kid. So people know you as this little boy. They don't know you as a grown-ass man, okay? Ooh. And he was riding this wave as if like he was somebody special. Like here's some before I even get to the part that pissed me off is we were smoking outside in the back. We're smoking weed. And he's like, hey man, don't take pictures of me because I don't want TMZ to catch me and put me on the news and shit. And in my mind, I'm like, bro, first off, TMZ don't even fucking know you, number one. Number two, TMZ they definitely don't give a fuck you're smoking weed at a comedy club with other comics who smoke weed.
No.
And number three, you're not fucking that special, bro. You're not that special. And so so my boy called me, Rob Churchill, good friend of mine. He fucking called me. He was like, bro, you're opening up for a piece of shit. And I was like, great. What happened? So he tells me, bro, he's gonna fucking, like, he tries to work you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even his opener. I'm his host. So only thing I really have to do is just get his credits right and play his music because, well, I don't have to play the music. That's the sound people. But I have to like, let them know when the time comes or whatever, so they know. And it's just like he was he thought he was like Kevin Hart or some shit.
Oh,
and even in my mind, I was like, bro, I wouldn't even let Kevin Hart do this shit to me. Because my thing is like, don't get me wrong, I respect comics, especially A-list comics and stuff like that. But dude, I'm a man before I'm anything else. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you treat me like shit, you treat me like I'm nobody. Now we got problems. I don't care what you are. And I'm not going to treat you with respect. I don't care who you are. So he was like, my boy Colin was like, yeah, man, he's going to make you do all this intro. So here's the intro. So that way you can memorize it. Cause he is like very, very passionate about this intro. So I memorize the intro and shit like that. I get there, I see him. I'm like, yo, I got your intro. I got the music cue for when you need to do it at the time you need it. I was like, I have everything under control. You're good. And the man was like, that's awesome. Read me what you got. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, read it. And I'm like, what a fucking piece of shit. Wow. So I started reading it. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good, but switch this and say this instead so it sounds better. And when you say it, have like be upbeat about it. Don't be like, reading it the way you just did. And in my mind, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not auditioning for you or whatever, bro. You are nobody. You know what I'm saying? To be talking to me like this and treat me like this, bro. Like, nah. And he was like, bro, the whole time kept coming up to me for his opener. When does he get off? When does he get off? I'm like, bro, he just got on. It's like 5 minutes. He's got like 15 minutes. Light him in 7. And I'm not lighting him in 7. He's got to do the time, bro. Like, you're only doing the 45. You're not doing an hour. What are you talking about? And he kept just very like, get him off stage. Don't mess up my intro. I do the fucking music for him. And because I didn't start it like very loud at first, like I made it like from nothing to something. It didn't just start loud. I ruined his performance. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Because after we smoked with him, he left. And I was like, I told the owner, I was like, yeah, I'm good, bro. I don't need to do this weekend anymore. I'm good.
Oh, I don't blame you.
That was the last time I did it. My boy Nathan Wallace had the same issue with him. He was actually his opener, though. When you're his opener, it's way worse because now you become his assistant. Man. And my boy Nathan was like, after the first night, he was like, I'm going to do it because, he's giving me time. He's bringing me on the road, this, that. But the second night, my boy Nathan was like, nah, bro, like, I'm a grown-ass man. I'm not doing this shit for you. Man, and then he kicked him off the show because he wouldn't be his assistant.
I'm going to have to ask when we get off here who the hell that is because I need to make sure to steer clear of that one.
Yeah, man.
Just in case. You never know. I would much rather steer clear of a personality and an ego like that because, man, I'm going to fucking stop that record button in the first 10 seconds and just end the meeting there. Be like, oh, fuck, this one's screwed from the get-go.
Yeah, he rides that wave like it's just like, bruh, I've done shows like Ali. Like when I asked him, I was like, what do you want me to say for your intro? And I'm expecting him to be like, oh, you could just say Comedy Central and HBO, or, you can just, that's it. But I like to ask them, so in case they want to plug something, you don't know if he has something he wants to do. So I'm like, what would you like me to say? He's like, from Houston, Texas, Ali Sadiq. And I said, what? He's
That's
like, yeah,
lame.
you sound from Houston. And I was like, Ali, come on, give me something, bro. I can't.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, man. He's like, man, these people don't give a fuck about me, bro. Just say it from Houston, Texas. And I was like, I still said, like, you've seen him on Comedy Central from Houston, Texas, Ali Sadiq. Because I wasn't just going to be like, yeah, all the way from Houston, Texas, Ali Sadiq. Like, no, bro, you're a big comic, dude.
Yes.
And for him to say that, I was just like, dude, this guy's humble as shit, man. And Tommy Davidson did the same thing. When I asked him, he was like, you could just say you guys know him, Tommy Davidson. And I was like, Tommy, I'm not gonna do that, bro. Like, you're a legend. You're a legend. No matter what anybody wants to say, dude, the shit that you've done in your career, you are a legend. And then he was like, well, then say whatever the fuck you want to say. And I was like, I'm going to. And he was like, well, I'm gonna be watching you then. And I do the whole, I'm doing his fucking intro, like In Living Color, fucking he was in Ace Ventura and all this other shit. I'm just naming a bunch of shit. And this man, this is why I love him so much. I call his name, give it over Tommy Davidson. They play music. This man starts dancing in between all the tables, right? Has me on stage at least 5 minutes. And I want to tell you something. When you're on stage waiting for somebody to get on stage, it feels like forever. Because it's not like I'm telling jokes. It's not, I had to bring him up. So he's just dancing. And I'm like, oh shit, he's going to keep dancing. He's not coming up here. And he just kept going. You go to this table, dance, go to this table, dance. I mean, he's moving closer, but he's going to each table. And I'm like, oh fuck, he's fucking with me. He's fucking with me. So immediately I was just like, fuck it. I'ma just, I was just, everybody clap your hands, give it up for Tyler. Look at him go. That's right. Take your shirt off. Because I don't know what to do. I just hype him up.
Hell yeah.
So he finally comes on stage and he hugs me. And in my ear goes, I just wanted to see how long I can keep you on stage for. Good
Holy
shit.
shit.
And then I leave and I'm like, what the fuck? And then he goes up, he's give it up for your host, man. That guy's funny, blah, blah, blah. And then after the show, same thing. He came and hugged me and he was like, hey, man, you did really well. I liked you a lot. And I was like, thank you, man. I appreciate that. He was like, I got you with that dancing shit. And I was like, you did, motherfucker. I was up there. I was like, damn, I don't know what to do right now. And he was just like, yeah, man, good shit. And I was like, let's take a picture. And I took a picture and sent it to my mom. But yeah, that was real funny when he did that. I was like, damn, that's crazy.
But you improv'd your ass off and you sailed right through it.
I had to. I couldn't just stand there. I had to do something. So I was like, let me just at least hype him up. And I just started, yeah, go. That's right. Go, Tyler. Yeah, take your shirt off. And that was just it. And then he finally came up and said that. I was like, I love comedy. It's so fun.
Now, with the up and coming comics, there's something that was a well-documented quarrel, if you will, between Joe Rogan and Carlos Mencia.
Yep.
Quite a while back.
Mencia too.
And do you ever run into the problem that Carlos has been accused of poaching jokes or just straight up stealing material?
Have
you ever heard your shit come from somebody else's mouth?
All right. So to be honest, like yes and no. But the reason why I didn't say anything was because it literally is a joke that like a lot of people can do and have done. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And I don't do the joke anymore, but I'll tell you, but it was just like I'm Puerto Rican, my wife is white, so my kids look Cuban. And that was it. And then I do this whole Cuban bit or whatever. But then I heard other comedians doing it as well. And it was like, I mean, at first I was like, man, they might be taking my shit. But then I had to take a step back and be like, man, they're just doing their life. And everybody who has, if you're in a relationship, and this is every comic, if you're in a relationship, if you're a black dude with a white chick, you talk about how you have a white chick and your kids look like this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? If you're a white dude with an Asian chick, then you do the whole I'm white, wife's Asian, whatever. But so I was like, you know what? A bunch of people do it. And what made me be like, maybe I'm just tripping. I just got to like work on my jokes more so that way I don't sound like people, was I watched a veteran do it. And he has a joke about like how he's black and his wife is something and that their kids do something. It was similar, but it wasn't what I said. But it was similar. And I was like, you know what? He's been doing that joke 20 something fucking years. I just started doing this joke. So maybe it's not me. Maybe I'm just like, I did what they did, which was took an easy premise and made it a joke, you know? So then I just stopped doing the joke. So that way it's like, fuck it. If I came up with it and it worked and it was funny, I can come up with better shit. So I
So
just
then,
stopped doing the joke so I don't have to hear, because I don't want people to say, oh man, I've been doing that. You took my joke, you know?
yeah,
Because then it's like, I don't even fucking know you, but I
yeah.
just try not to do that. So, but not this scene though. Like we don't, if we do know you're stealing shit or doing, because I ain't gonna lie, there's been a few comics that try to come do the open mic and do like internet jokes, like memes and shit.
Ooh.
And and immediately they'll be like, hey buddy, you're not coming back here anymore. Why
Get
not?
called out.
Yeah, bitch, because you're stealing fucking jokes, man. There was one
Yeah.
time, Chris Machado, I was with Chris Machado. We're in the back. This guy is doing these jokes, and Chris is on his phone, and then he goes, hey, look at this. And then I would see on his phone the joke this dude just said. And then he would go again, hey, look at this. And it's the same thing, another joke on the internet. And he was like, this dude is just doing internet jokes and think people are stupid.
Wow.
But he was killing it because all these audience members don't know that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So there is some people who've done that, but if you come around us doing that, like, and because like the owner of the comedy club, Jamie Morgan, he is a comic. And he was a comic for like 20 years on the road and shit. So like he don't fuck around when it comes to stealing shit, not being original. If you're not original, you're not doing time at the Laughing. You know what I'm saying? He takes comedy very serious, as he should. You know what I'm saying? He's been a veteran in the game. He's opened up for way bigger names. He's opened up for Eddie Griffin. Was Eddie Griffin open like a month? So he's got some stripes in the game. And he's definitely, I'll say this too, Jamie Morgan, I call him my comedy father because when I met him, I had maybe like 7 minutes worth of great material. The rest of it was bullshit. And he put me on stage. First time he saw me, he was like, hey man, you were holding back. I want to actually see you, be yourself. Because I was. Because there's a lot of old people here. So sometimes you can't do these dirty jokes and stuff because they're all weird about it.
Yep.
So sometimes I do hold back. And so he booked me for a whole weekend to host and watch me every single night. Basically was like, yeah, you've passed. You're good. But we're going to work on your set. And he started like helping me think of ways. He helped my writing. And bro, within like a month or two, I went from like 7 minutes to 20 minutes.
Damn.
And it was like, boom, now. And then he was like, okay, you're going to feature for me now. And I'm like, fuck, I'm featuring for the owner of the club. So that means he's watching the whole set. And he did. And I did the whole weekend with him. And he didn't say anything to me until Saturday night after the last show. He gave me a hug and was like, I'm proud of you. You came a long way. You're going to be special. Keep fucking doing it. And from that point on, like, he's helped us a lot. He's helped a lot of people in this community, bro. I'm telling you, that dude, Jamie Morgan, is the fucking truth. They hate him on the internet, but he's a troll though. That's the problem. He likes to troll people and shit. So he's always in some shit with people. They hate him, but he's actually a really good dude. He's actually a really good dude if you get to know him. Funny fucking guy too, man.
And see, it's funny when I asked you about that, about Carlos Mencia, and you brought up that a joke that you had was kind of told in just a different way. That literally reminded me of there's a joke that Anthony Jeselnik does. It's one of the greatest bits I've ever heard out of him. And he talks about a Bible his grandma gave him when he went off to college. If you've never heard this bit, for God's sake, people look it up. It's absolutely fucking hilarious. And I always thought he had to be the one that wrote this. And I listened to a lot of Netflix as a joke radio in my car. And so Kevin Hart comes on, and it's almost the exact same thing, only with Anthony Jeselnik. If anybody knows Anthony, that punchline is going to fucking hurt you. But with Kevin Hart, it was a lighter punchline. That was the only thing that had changed in that whole bit. But it made me wonder who's the one that fucking wrote it.
You know, I will say this. There are a lot of writers in comedy. There's a lot of people who do Netflix specials or whatever. It just, even if it's not Netflix, they do a special. And they have writers come help them write, and they'll like present jokes, and people would just be like, all right, do this instead, or say this instead, or they'll be like, yo, you do this bit, I'll pay you X amount of money to do this bit on my special. And, you know, some people are like, well, I could use $20,000. So yeah, take that joke, you know? Chris Rock, his Bigger and Blacker special, which is probably the greatest one he's ever done. It's so fucking great. He paid Patrice O'Neal, Sarah Silverman, I think Dave Attell, and there's another comic I forgot. He paid
That's
like
a star-studded cast.
He paid them like 50 grand just to come to his shows and critique him and basically punch up his jokes before he did the special. So he had these 4 fucking heavy hitting comics watch him and basically be like, yo, I like this, but I think of it like this. And then, you know, he got all these different points of views from people. You know, like you got Patrice, who's like an asshole and he's very straightforward, but he's so fucking funny. You love him. Yes. Then you got Sarah, who's like a dark comic and also a dirty comic, but she's a woman.
Yeah, so she's great.
A different point of view. Then you got Dave Attell, who's like this fucking white dude who's honestly, to me, Dave Attell is like the greatest. I mean, the reason I started doing comedy was because I heard Patrice O'Neal and Dave Attell. And if it wasn't for listening to them, I wouldn't have never tried stand-up. Because I was like, if these dudes can say that and get a laugh, I don't even say wild shit like that. And people think I'm funny. So I can do it. And Dave Attell, I remember the first time I heard Dave Attell, I was driving on 75 and I almost crashed my car because I was crying. I couldn't see. Legit. Like I was like, I had to turn it down and start fucking breathing. I was like, oh, you gotta relax. You gotta relax. Oh my God. That's so funny. Like that dude, I think I don't get fanboyish anymore meeting people because I've met some pretty big people. So, and knowing that they're like, they like it more when you treat them normal than being like, oh my God, you did this. That's awesome. They don't like that shit. So the more like cool you are, the cooler they'll be with you. And yeah, man. Damn, where the fuck I was going with that? I always be losing my damn train of thought.
Yeah, that's why we call it the spin-off.
That's right. What were we talking about?
We talk about who you've been working with. You don't get really starstruck anymore.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get starstruck, but I will say, you're the man. I will say that if I met Dave Attell, I'd probably turn into a girl. I probably would be like, oh my God, you're my favorite. Yeah, like I probably would. Because I ain't gonna lie to you too, like Mark Norman, he's like my favorite comic right now. Like to me, he's the best right now. That's my opinion. I got to see Mark at Side Splitters in Tampa. And I'll never forget this moment. I'm just sitting there, right? And I'm just chilling. And the host is going on, like he's kind of like doing all these announcements before the fucking headliner, which like you should have did that in the beginning. So he's just going on, oh, make sure you fill out the tickets and blah, blah, blah. And then he tries to do a joke. Now I'm minding my biz. I'm just watching it like, man, when the fuck is Mark coming? And all I hear right next to me, like he's literally right next to me, all I hear is, oh my God, get the fuck off stage. And so I look over and it's Mark Norman. And I'm like, oh shit. I look at my wife, I said, it's Mark. So then I was like, yeah, man, he needs to get off, bro, because I'm ready to see you, bro. Like, I'm here to see you. And Mark just looked at me and he was like, that's what the fuck I'm talking about. He patted my back and he was like, let's fucking do this. And then he just starts walking on stage. Like as he was doing it, you could see that he sees him coming. And he was like, oh, okay, oh, everybody give it up for Mark Norman. Like, and Mark just went up there and just puts his shit together and gets off stage. He's like, all right, anyway, boom, and just starts fucking crushing.
Oh man.
And I told my wife when he touched me and was like, now that's what the fuck I'm talking about. Let's do some comedy. And then like left, it was like I ignited him to go up and do that. You know what I'm saying? So I told my wife, I was like, I think I'm fucking gay because he touched me and my heart is just throbbing right now, son. And she started laughing. I was like, yo, that's my favorite comic. And I basically was the one who was like, yeah, man, this dude's a fucking asshole. Get on stage. And he did. So that's a great memory. But when he was like, come on, man, get the fuck off stage, I was just blown away by that. I was like, that is a real fucking comedian right there. He is awesome, dude. I love him so much.
All right, JoJo, this is toward the end of the show, man. This is where I turn it over to my guest. I want you to let everybody know where they can find your fucking hilarious ass on any social media, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, fucking Snapchat, MySpace, whatever the fuck it may be. And
I wish I knew my MySpace account. I would plug the fuck out of that.
oh God, if I could remember mine, I'd do the same damn thing. I want to bring, let's start a fucking petition. Hashtag MySpace. Bring
it back. Bring it back. That's
and
where it all started.
On top of those, as well as any possible organizations or charities that you have donated to or maybe a part of, feel free to plug that as well. So JoJo,
I am a part of a charity.
There you go. Hey, the stage is yours, my friend.
I forgot what it's called. I know it's for women, though. I know it's for women. I know it's for women. It's a charity event for women. Forgot what it was though. But yeah, it's at the end of April.
Okay.
Like the very end of April. It's a charity event I'm doing. It's in Cape Coral, which is like 30 minutes from Fort Myers or whatever.
Message that to me, and I'll throw a picture up. I'll throw a little picture up. So
once I get the info, I definitely got you, man.
Absolutely.
On social media, on Facebook, it's just JoJo Casillas Comedy. You know what I'm saying? Or just JoJo Casillas. You'll find me. You'll see me. Instagram is JoJo Casillas for real. I had to change it because my fucking Instagram got hacked. And so I had to change it, and all these other names. Apparently, there's 1,000 JoJo Casillas. So I had to do JoJo Casillas for real. That was the only one they let me do. So that's Instagram. Then Twitter is JoJo Sasson. I'm not on Twitter heavy. I am kind of on Twitter, but if you really want to see me, I'm more on Instagram and Facebook. That's really where I do most of my shit at. So yeah, Facebook, JoJo Casillas, Instagram, JoJo Casillas for real. Got a few shows coming up. Like tonight, I'm in Fort Myers. I'll be opening for Ken Miller, who's the godfather of Orlando comedy. I just got shows coming up at the end of the week. I'm gonna be in Orlando next week, doing a show, like a showcase. And yeah, I'm opening for Tom Simmons in May, the 6th through the 8th. And then it's just, just a bunch of other shows, like little rooms here and there. Like you seen this week, I was at like 5 different places this week. So yeah, that's basically what it is. So it's so much. If I had my calendar, I would tell you them all, but I ain't got it all myself. But no, if you follow me on social media, man, I post all my shows and everything on there. So I keep everybody updated. I started getting better with that. So as long as you follow me, you'll see where I'm at. And I might be in your city soon. So just make sure you're paying attention.
Damn straight. You better be in one of my surrounding cities here in Nebraska before too much longer, man.
Y'all are close to Oklahoma, right?
We're a couple states away. Yep. Kansas is south, and then Oklahoma.
Okay. All right. Because I know there's an Oklahoma comic, Justin Smith, but he does a lot of shit like in Nebraska and like that Midwest area. He's a New York comic now, but yeah, he's out there. So I'm actually trying to get in and do some shit with him too. He opens up for Nate Bargatze.
Dude, Nate Bargatze. Oh my God. Don't even get me started with Tennessee Kid. That guy, holy shit. You want to talk about a guy that does not need any polishing on his craft anymore. He just, and you hear Tom Papa says it all the time, that Nate just, it's effortless.
It is. It's like he's not even trying. It's like he's just talking.
And half the time he's clean. Half of his shit is completely clean.
Yep.
It's amazing.
That clean comedy, man, that shit gets you very far. I will tell you that. Clean comedy will get you very, very far, because then you can do TV appearances and stuff, Exactly. Nobody wants to see you on Kimmel talk about eating ass. They want to talk about you having. So
yeah, you don't see somebody like Bill Burr coming on fucking.
But if Jimmy Fallon, he keeps it clean. He does.
He does a good job of that. So yeah, when you guys do what you do, and you got to do a clean set, and you can pull that off, that's even more of a testament to how good you guys are at what you do. So kudos again to you, JoJo. It's amazing. It's an art form. It's a fucking art form.
It really is. It really is.
All right. Well, everybody, I'm closing it down here. At this point, I think you know the steps. You know where to find this. It'll be on YouTube under my name, Brian Knudsen, or the spinoff. Same thing on Facebook. Find it both ways. On Twitter, you'll be able to find the audio at the Scarlet Cream because that is the Scarlet and Cream Husker podcast. That's where the audio goes. You'll be able to find that anywhere podcasts are being put out. So, guys, for myself at the spinoff, for my guest today, JoJo Casillas, and also, as always, the Killigans for supplying my intro music. Thank you guys. Love you guys. You're amazing. So, for the spinoff, my guest, JoJo Casillas, and anybody watching, we will see you all next time on the next episode of the spinoff, of course.
That's right, man. Appreciate you having me, Brian. You certified, man. You solid in my book. So whenever I'm in your area, I'm hitting you up, and you better take a goddamn game.
Oh, absolutely. I'm leaving. I'm not even gonna bother editing this part out. I hope everybody stops and keeps watching, keeps listening. Here's a little extra snippet for you guys because we didn't quite sign off. So fuck it. This is your sign off. JoJo, you're the fucking man. Keep doing what you're doing. For the spinoff, love you guys. Thank you all for your support. We'll see you again.